Welcome into Green Live, everybody. We're back on another Monday. We're going to talk some football. We do have something special today, though. Do you know they're not Swedish, but do you know what we have in store today, Wyatt?
Not Swedish?
Not
Fish?
Swedish. Now now you're getting a big guy like me hungry. I'm talking twins, baby. We got twins today.
Twins,
Aaron,
Basil. Twins.
Aaron, what's going on, man? Welcome in.
Thanks, guys. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. We're stoked that you're here. You can see we got a video that's going very viral right now over on TikTok and Instagram. So me and this pumpkin back here had a little bit of celebration when I got home.
Saying that hole looks a little small.
What are you talking about? That's a huge hole. Look at this pin, dude.
Good golly.
That's a giant hole. Guys, let's talk about this past weekend real quick, and then we'll get into today's games. And then Aaron down there is a pro soccer bettor. So I have bet soccer one time. I hit like a plus 260. I'm trying to keep that going. And Aaron, I'm gonna need your help. Let's talk about this last week. So what do you guys what do you guys want to talk about?
The Lions suck. No, they don't. And I saw Ethan's tweet. It was a bad spot. It was a really bad spot. Just game planning did not look great defensively. We honestly just looked like the inferior team. So that was a little disappointing. Thankfully, I held off on the Lions bet. I did like them at +3. Thankfully, I held off, but it happens. We see teams get spanked. Good teams get spanked. So I don't think it's jump ship yet, but definitely disappointing for me.
Yep. Yeah, I remember last week the Eagles sucked too, and the 49ers sucked, and yeah, it's just going around. So yeah, I'm kicking myself because I love the Ravens. What's that?
It's contagious, bro.
It is.
Contagious.
I loved the Ravens, but I bet Tampa against Detroit 2 weeks ago. I was like, I don't want to bet against Detroit again. So I didn't bet them. But, yeah, just terrible. Not fun to watch whatsoever. It was over in the first quarter. My Colts bet, on the other hand, was nice. That was best of both worlds, Ben. Got your Survivor win there.
I know.
Got my cover.
Yeah, I had Colts money line on that one.
Oof.
Oh, that's brutal, dude.
Some 2 bullshit penalties at the end of that game. Really pissed me off there.
That was some Chiefs level shit right there. Speaking of the Chiefs, if you watched last week's episode, it started with Wyatt saying, I cashed out. I'm done. That was me talking Wyatt off of taking the Chiefs at -5.5. I said they were going to lose on the money line. These are my Chiefs. They had 320 passing yards at half. Wyatt, I owe you an apology. Apology, man.
It's all right. I did take both the Chargers and the Chargers money line, or spread and money line, so definitely difficult. But yeah, there was 2 quarterback halftime stats that looked like full game stats. I think Mahomes had 320 something yards at half, and Lamar Jackson had 300 something yards at half. So 2 quarterbacks had a full game's worth of stats in just 30 minutes, which was surprising, especially when your team is playing one of those. But that was weird. That was definitely weird this weekend.
Well, do we want to get into tonight's slate?
I mean, I guess
we'll talk about it. Ethan, what game is on tonight?
We have San Francisco at Minnesota. I believe the current line is San Fran -7. I know this opened up 7.5 San Fran. I've seen 6.5s out there, so shop around no matter what side you're looking to bet. Total, I believe, is at 43. I'll start. I have San Fran, second leg of a teaser. Teased them with Atlanta +8.5. Atlanta won on the money line. I just basically need San Fran to win the game. Feeling good about it. Well, I like the over. It's actually at 44. I think that ticked up in the last hour. Yeah. I kind of can't believe the total is this low. San Fran last week was the only week they failed to put up 30 points in their one loss. If I think San Fran's going to win, They probably put up close to 30 points, and if that's the case, Minnesota just has to put up 14. Yeah, I like the over quite a bit, but what do you guys think?
Well, we are both I think we all agreed on San Fran spread, if I'm not mistaken. I have completely jumped ship since Wednesday.
Oh no.
I think Minnesota might win it outright, money line.
You
It's
did that
so
with
hard
Dallas.
to-
You did that with Dallas, though.
I did. First of all, how many people, because we have playoff baseball tonight as well that no one really cares about, but how many people have the Niners money line, the Phillies money line, and the Astros money line parlayed together tonight? Phillies, by the way, are down 3-1 or 4-1.
Right.
I don't know. San Fran should win this game. They should cover this game, but I don't know. I kind of like the Vikings on the spread now, and I'm not going to bet it just because I can't risk another loss. But I kind of like the Vikings on the plus 270 right now. I'm seeing money line. I mean, Niners look like dog shit last week. Vikings are at home. 49ers are beat up. I understand Vikings are without a couple guys, but I don't know, man. Vikings also haven't lost 5 straight home games ever in franchise history, and they have the ability to do that tonight. So, I don't know.
I will remind you, Wyatt, you do have San Fran -7 in your big 3.
As do I.
Huh. Well, I've changed my mind completely since Wednesday. So,
Yeah.
Hey, he's
I
going to
don't
get a win one way or the other.
that's true. That's true. And I'd
I'm
rather.
not as good of a football guy as you guys, but my take on the Vikings this year is they should be doing better than their record reflects. That being said, I'm on the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, so I will be hoping the 49ers go all the way on this one. But I do see that there could be a little bit of something happening from Minnesota.
I love it. I already love this guy.
Yeah. Guys,
Not to win the game.
almost
I'm
forgot?
not gonna go that far.
Aaron, you can catch Aaron sometimes in our YouTube comments as well, joining us
True.
live today. So he knows what we're doing here. We have to tell how our bets are going to do today. A wondrous opportunity is on its way. Aaron, I don't know about you. That sounds positive to me.
That sounds
like
like
that.
Vikings money line, baby.
A wondrous opportunity.
Ethan, you're going to be happy with this one.
Yes.
Yes, it is. I'm taking the over also.
Yeah, I love it.
I locked it at 43.5, but yeah, over, even if it's 44, don't care.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I agree.
All right. You got your second one, Ethan?
Oh, that's part of your big 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even given mine out yet. Did I give anything out?
Well, I'll start it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Okay, so you took the over.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give a player prop. Talk to you guys a little bit pre-show, but Ray McLeod over 1.5 catches, even odds, plus 100. McLeod is taking over the Deebo Samuel role. I think he gets a lot of bubble screens and maybe one of those little pop passes as he comes across the line. That's basically a handoff. Yeah, I think plus price on a guy that should see the field quite a bit more in Deebo's absence. Too good to pass up. Only 2 catches. I've just talked myself into the first catch of the game is going to be a bubble screen to Ray McLeod, which him to have the first catch is plus 1,900. I kind of want to dabble in it, but yeah, I think he definitely gets 2 catches. He had 71% of offensive snaps last week when Deebo went down. Now he has a full week of practice in that Deebo Samuel role. I just think the line is too low. The odds are too high. So love that play.
Yeah, I was looking for that as well. I saw it's at minus 120 on DraftKings, so plus 100 is a steal. I like that.
That's not good because it was plus 100 on DraftKings.
Or maybe some people found it. I don't know. I mean, you got plus 100. You're all right. If it started moving to minus one, oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna go. What's his first name? Alexander Madison under 44.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a passing game for Minnesota. We all know that Minnesota is going to be playing from behind. San Fran has the best linebacker. San Fran probably has the best D line, but definitely the best D lineman in the league. It's going to be a passing game for the Vikings. Madison's not coming close to 44.5 yards. I'll take his under.
He's on my fantasy team, which makes that a lock.
Aaron, do you have any bets for this game?
No, I don't really have anything going for this game. I've got a couple of games for the Champions League in soccer coming up here on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I've got some picks for that. I'd be happy to give one out now if you'd like, or I can wait till we're off Monday Night Football.
Yeah, throw it in, man.
Okay. So the Champions League is coming up. We're back. It's the group stage, which is, I think, probably ideal for betting. Everyone cares about it, but it's not necessarily knockouts or in these situations in soccer where you get deeper into the competition. You start to have a home leg and a return leg, and it just messes with the betting odds. So this is, I think, a great time to get in for the Champions League. So my first play is actually a two-leg parlay, and it's for two favorites. It's for Real Madrid on the money line and Bayern Munich on the money line. They both play tomorrow. That's plus 110 for the line. So I like this a lot. These are both two teams that have a lot of history in this competition. These are two relative favorites to go out and win the whole thing. They are the top two in their respective groups. Bayern Munich, they're unbeaten in the last 11 games in all competitions that they've played. Right now, they've got former Tottenham Hotspur striker Harry Kane, who is just absolutely on fire right now. They play a team from Turkey called Galatasaray. They've got a dangerous striker named Mauro Icardi. And they actually beat Manchester United in their last game. So they're looking dangerous, but I think Bayern Munich are just a little too strong for them. So I think they're going to get the win here in Turkey. Real Madrid, similarly, they've got a couple of injuries. They play a team from Portugal who's decent, but again, not quite the caliber that Real Madrid is. So I like both of those on the money line. I think it's minus 250 or so for each. So put those together, you got plus 110. And I think they get it done this weekend or this week.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Talk about a name, Harry Kane. That's quite the name.
Harry Kane.
That's quite the name.
Quite the name.
Aaron, before we move to Ben's next pick, is this like, do they have to win in regulation here? I never can remember with soccer how all that works.
Yes. Well, not exactly. This is a very standard game where you can have a draw. It'll end in a draw, and that's one of the outcomes here. So by taking the money line, you are going with the 1 out of 3 option, essentially, or 1 by 2, where you are choosing that over, draw, or loss. So how it works in this competition, very basic structure is you have to compete in your normal domestic competition, your normal league in whatever country you're in. If you do really well, then you get a berth into next year's Champions League. So these are all the teams that did well last year. And right now, they're playing in a group of 4, and they play each other a couple of times. And then the best 2 from that group will move on to a bracket-style knockout competition. So very much like the World Cup. Right now, we're in the group stage. So draws are on the table. But again, I think that's best for betting terms.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I've never been this pumped to talk soccer betting, I think, in my life. I'm really happy you came and joined us, Aaron, because I do have some questions for you. I think White's going to like this one. I got Hawkinson over 5.5 receptions. I think this is going to be a big tight end game. Like you were just saying, this also fits with your Madison theory. It's going to be hard to run on this team, but you're also not going to have a whole bunch of time to throw it deep. So those dump offs to Hawkinson at 5.5, I love it.
Beautiful.
Yep, I like that too. I'll side with you, Ben. I'll go over 44. Already mentioned it. Yeah, just think total's too low. I think San Fran puts up 30 plus themselves, so 2 touchdowns from Minnesota should get it done for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the tight ends. 2 Iowa tight ends, 2 of the best tight ends in the league, Hawkinson, Kittle. I do like as well receptions for Hawkinson. I like receptions for receiving yards for Hawkinson. I'm not going to give that out. I'm actually going to go the other tight end, George Kittle. If you look at his game log, very inconsistent, and that's kind of what's going to happen with San Fran guys. There's so much power. The ball just gets shared too much. But now with Debo out, Trent Williams, I believe that's his name, is out as well. Christian McCaffrey probably on a snap count limit, I would assume, but I don't know. So I think they're going to really go to the air. I do like Ayuk props, but I'm going to go with Kittle. I'm going to go to Kittle to score anytime. It's plus 185, which is pretty nice there. Again, come to the goal line. I don't know if they're just going to keep bashing Christian McCaffrey on the 10-yard line and in like they have been in the past. I think they're going to go a little bit more towards the passing game. So I think they could get Kittle there as a touchdown tonight.
I like that.
So again, all mine are for Champions League, which is Tuesday and Wednesday this week. It's a great time slot. If maybe you're at the office or something, and you want to pull it up on the computer. It's at usually noon or 3 o'clock. So it's a beautiful time slot. My second pick is Napoli money line. Napoli. Yeah, you remember back in we were talking about Napoli a couple weeks ago. In that game, I believe I said don't go with Napoli. I've actually been fading Napoli all season. They did really well last year. They won the Italian league, and then their coach left. And now they're playing in the Champions League. They were last year, but they had a good run. Lost their coach. I just feel like this is a little bit more of a rebuilding spot for them. So I have been fading them all season. However, their opposition is Union Berlin, and they're currently 15th in the German league. They lost their last 8 matches in all competitions. They've got a couple of injuries right now. I'll be honest, I don't follow Union Berlin, so I don't know exactly how critical those injuries are. But they are right now really struggling, and they're at the bottom in their group. Napoli is tied right now for second in their group. And in order to do well and to get out of their group, I think that they are going to see this game as a must win and as an easy win. So Napoli, that's minus 105.
Beautiful.
Oh, nice. Love it. How gross is Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown for minus 200? Like you were just saying, why he might be on a snap count. That is terrible odds. I know he's done it, but
I would be tempted to take him not to score.
Yeah,
I've been thinking that all day long.
Right.
I don't want to get in front of that. That's what is it, 14 straight? Something like that.
I thought.
I don't want to get in front of that train, but not to score it's pretty nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm gonna go Cousins over a half interception. We get Cousins on prime time against a good defense. Might have to throw it quick there. Love it. It's at minus 120.
Yeah, that was mine.
You can still take it, White.
No. Diversify.
Oh, I'm glad I went first today.
I'm glad I went first on Thursday with the Eagles play.
Never question.
I will go over to hockey. We have one game tonight because the schedule makers hate us. We had, I don't know how many games on Saturday, then 2 games last night, 1 game tonight, 1 game Wednesday, 16 games tomorrow. Every team plays. Not sure why they do it like that right now. Well, Wyatt had a good theory. It's probably tried to not interfere with football. But we'll look at the one game being played in hockey tonight. I'm going to go with the over 6.5. Sabres, Canadians. Two pretty poor defensive teams. The Sabres are pretty solid offensively. I think they put up a number of goals themselves. So I wouldn't hate if you bet Buffalo money line or Buffalo minus 1.5 here. I do think they win this one pretty big, but I feel more confident in the over. I see this as like a 5-2 Sabres game. Yeah, I mean, both teams have been putting up goals. Defense sucks. Goalie's playing tonight. Neither one is great. So, yeah. Trying the over. I'm an under better in hockey. For the sake of this, I'm going with the over.
I was just going to say, whenever Ethan gives out an over, especially in NHL, it's probably a good play because this guy loves unders, and I don't know how he can live with himself because that's the most boring, scary bet in the world. Especially with empty netters at the end, oof, tough. But anytime Ethan gives an over, you gotta listen to that one. So I was gonna stay away from the NHL, but we'll see. We'll see now. Again, I love the Kirko prop. I'm not going to bet it. I will take Kirko over 36.5 passing attempts in this game. No idea. Didn't look at his game lines, like what he normally is at, but pretty sure he's gotten 50 or a couple times. I know like week one, he had 50, I think. But either way, I still like him over passing attempts. Again, I think Minnesota is going to be down in this game. They're going to be coming from behind most of the time. So I do think he's going to be throwing the ball, hopefully to Hawk, but honestly to anyone. I don't really care. So over 36.5, I think it's minus 115.
He's hit that in 4 of 6 weeks.
Perfect.
Like it.
My last one is a Wednesday game. This is Atletico Madrid on the money line. Last I checked, odds on this were minus 105. When I first looked at this, it was plus 100. So this really, I thought, was going to be my best value bet. The line's win quite a bit on this, so maybe not as good a value anymore. But still, I think a good play. They are playing a team called Celtic, and they are a club that is very good in their own domestic league. They're at the top. But there's only 2 teams in that domestic league that are really worth anything. So that doesn't really say a whole lot. In European competition, they've got a very terrible record. Let's see, I saw a stat on this. They haven't had a European win at home for 10 years. Their current coach has coached this team before. And he hasn't had a win in Europe since 2017. They were doing very well last year, how they got into the Champions League. And then they lost their coach, who went to my favorite team, Tottenham Hotspur, and is tearing it up with them right now. So I think that this is a spot where Atletico Madrid is going to look really hot. They just had a 3-0 win at the weekend. Antoine Griezmann scored a hat trick. He's going to be on fire, I think. I think they are going to look to win this game pretty easily against an opponent that is at home, but I think has really shown that doesn't make a whole lot of difference here in the big European games.
Lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys
Atletico Madrid to beat the Boston Celtics? I'll take it every day of the week.
That's right.
Did you guys have any more NFL before we get to the ad read in the next segment?
Oh, I always got NFL. I do have my biggest play is Hawk over 49.5 receiving yards. I didn't want to add it to my big 3 just because I've given out on pretty much everything. But yeah, I think he's going to be number 1 target tonight. I do like his receptions as well. It's at 5.5, which is low. I seriously think Hawk can get 8 to 10 receptions for 75 plus yards. So pretty big on Hawk. Again, I think it's a tight end game. Have the over as well. So I'm riding with you guys, the over of this game. And that's, I think, it for me.
There's that.
I'll quick field the question. How do we feel?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's that
boost
on DraftKings for Kittle and Hawkinson.
I took that.
Yeah, I was gonna say tight end game.
Yeah,
Got
I
you
took
covered.
that. I'm a little worried because that's so obvious. Again, I think Hawk can have 80 himself. Kittle's definitely the wild card because he has games where he has 1 catch, 1 yard.
Right.
And he has games where he has 6 catches, 60 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, but I did take that, and I hate the draft. I haven't won DraftKings boost in the last 4 or 5 times I've thrown one out there. Did the AJ Brown one win last night? It did. Okay, so I won that one, but yeah,
I think they were pushing 250 last night.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't watch the second half at all, but I know AJ Brown had a couple big catches, and Tyreek is always good for 75 minimum.
Yeah.
See, when I looked at that one last night, though, I was like, I didn't realize AJ Brown was on a 4-game, 125 plus yard streak. That would have helped. Yeah, no, now 5. He's tied Calvin Johnson for most all time. Did not realize that, but when I saw 150 for those two guys, I was like, there's just no. I just thought there was no way. It seemed way too high in my opinion, but I'm the clown.
You want to hear a quick bad take that I just remembered in regards to our fantasy guide? I said Devonta Smith was going to be the new wide receiver 1 at Philly this year. I said AJ Brown was going to have a down year. Smith was going to take over. That's aged like piss wine.
Skinny Batman.
Aged like milk. So maybe we just cut that out of the fantasy guide.
Yeah, don't go download it, guys. Don't go to our website. Speaking of our website, I'm going to hop over there real quick. Make sure you guys go visit bettergreen.com. We have all of our articles posted over there as well as our store. Just flipped over so you guys can see some of that merch. Boom. T-shirts, sweatshirts, koozies, hoodies, all that type of stuff. We got it priced so you guys can go over there, grab it without a dent in your pocket. Oh, there we go. Let me cut back to you guys. There we go. There we go. They got the koozies. Oh. Not sponsored.
That's hilarious.
Ethan, I want you to give Aaron a proper introduction because he's hit some crazy soccer ones that you've talked about, but I don't want it to just be like, all right, well, this is Aaron. I want you to have some energy to it, man. Give him a proper introduction.
Well, before I do that, stickers coming soon.
Oh,
I'll
yes.
just say that.
Need it.
Yep. A purchase was made today that
You need to cover that hole.
all right, let me get my best English accent going here. Go!
Good God.
Yeah, Aaron, my twin brother, been betting for probably close to 2 years now. Big soccer bettor, bets actually big NBA prop bettor. So NBA starting tomorrow. So I'm sure he'll be firing away in the NBA. Kind of dabbles in everything, but yeah, soccer is the main thing. And Aaron, I should have written these down before we hopped on, but in the last probably 2 months, you've hit 2 massive soccer parlays. Do you remember those odds on the top of your head? 23,000?
Yeah, something like that. It was boosted from a DraftKings boost, but if you'll allow me to really quickly tell you about my one from this weekend, I like to do these 10-leg parlays when DraftKings does these all soccer boosts, so you can boost it 100% if you get up to 10 legs. So I'm 9 for 10 on, I don't know, 6 or 7 of these, but I won 1 or 2. This weekend I was 9 for 10. The one that did me in was Real Madrid, so I'm kind of going back to the well with my best pick on that one. They had a draw, and I had picked. Usually, I will pick either money lines or I'll go the double chance, which has the draw or the win. This time, I said I'm just going nuts. I'm going all wins, and let me find it here. Yeah, it was regular odds of about 4,000, so boosted to 8,000.
That's a big
Went
boy.
9 for 10.
Yeah.
It's
Damn.
not
Shoot.
bad. That makes you want to.
Yeah. I don't bet those very big. I usually put like 25 cents on those, and that one would have paid out $20. So eventually they'll pay for themselves. But
Right.
I also usually will bet a little bit. I'll kind of dabble on those games as well. So I usually end up doing decent even if I don't quite hit the parlay, as long as most of them hit.
So you said you're a Tottenham fan?
Yes. Big Tottenham fan.
Who was the dude? I forget his name. He's from like Wales that played on Tottenham probably like a couple years ago.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Bale. Yes. He was my favorite guy.
Gareth Bale, sorry.
Gareth Bale. Yeah.
Gareth Bale.
He was my dude. All right. Second question. Who's your least favorite EPL team?
Oh, okay. So Tottenham's rivals, which is Arsenal. Least favorite English.
Is Odegaard still on our Arsenal?
Odegaard is, yep. So he is he's still there, still doing pretty well actually. They did really well last season. They were title contenders with Manchester City. But this year I'm biased, but Arsenal is one of the teams that I'm fading a little bit as well. I think they're going to struggle a little bit as they get deeper into the Champions League. First time they've been to the Champions League since, I don't know, 2017 or something like that. So it's been a minute for them. I think they're going to put a lot of energy there, and I think they're going to struggle in the league, but we'll see.
Third question. Who was born first?
That would be Ethan.
Okay. And you're not identical?
Not identical.
What's that one called?
Fraternal.
Fraternal. Okay. That's all I got at the moment. I'll probably come up with a couple as we keep speaking. Pleasure to have you on.
I just got to point out on my end, I think Aaron's like 3 seconds behind. So it's like,
me too. I don't know why. I don't know how
to
you're
decipher.
so. Why it seems like he's okay.
Yeah, we're in the same house.
I'm trying to just decipher what's going on. It's like Wyatt's
it was
answering
just
Aaron's
me.
question before Aaron even says it.
Yeah, watch it back. That was really wild to see.
Yeah,
We're having a great
One-
conversation over here.
Hopefully it's
kind of been happening all night, I
screen.
think, on my end.
Yeah, you keep cutting in on them on my screen. So
I do?
yeah,
Like cutting you off?
cutting Aaron off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think me and Ethan are just behind.
I think so. Something's up.
I'm live with you. I'm live with everyone.
I also seem
Something's
to be
up with
mine
mine,
everyone.
but
All right. I've got 4 questions. I want your honest take on your review of my Women's World Cup analysis.
Oh, I thought it was great. I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to remember some of the specifics, but I remember there were quite a few of them that I thought were spot on. A few that some of those were coming out. I remember those articles were coming out a little bit late at night because those games were early or were
Yeah.
overnight or whatever. So some of them they'd come out and I'd be like, all right, yeah, that's already what I'm on. I remember there was one, I forget what it was, but there was one that I was like, oh, I don't like that one. But other than maybe one play, I thought everything was pretty solid.
Okay. Well, I will take that as someone that didn't know what they were talking about. What are bets to stay away from when you're betting soccer? Like, what is something? I know you said you bet money lines, like stay away from spread type stuff. What is something that you just won't bet?
Yeah, that's a great question. I dabbled with a lot of different stuff during the World Cup, the Men's World Cup, to see sort of what I liked with soccer. I really have settled on staying away from just about everything other than I like money lines a lot. I really like double chance, which again is that draw or win. Or I guess you could do either team to win, but it takes away one of those three options. Sometimes I like the both teams to score or the both teams to score draw bet, but some of the ones I tend to stay away from are corners. They seem deceptive, where they seem like they should be pretty easy, or just 6 corners doesn't seem that hard. But if a team is defending the entire game, they're not going to get maybe even 1 or 2 corners. So I think there are a few bets like that tend to be a little deceptive unless you really know what you're looking for. I think some of the goal scorer odds can sometimes be a little bit tricky as well, where they're a little bit more, maybe like in football as well, where sometimes it's name recognition more than anything else.
Yeah.
So I think you sometimes will have some goal scorers that really just are having boosted odds, perhaps. There are some real gem picks, but I think there are some too that you would look at it and say, I'm not going to pick this person just because they're the Ronaldo or the Messi or something, which they're good and they score too, but sometimes the name recognition will get you on the goal scoring odds. But yeah, I tend to keep it pretty simple. I tend to stay away from some of the player props because again, I think then it just requires you to know a little bit more about the individual teams. And I tend to stick with, I like to bet a lot of different leagues. I like to bet a lot of smaller bets on money lines and have more of a better understanding of the overall league that I'm betting, as opposed to maybe the individual players within that league.
That makes sense.
That was a bit of a weird way to
when
answer.
you're
That wasn't
looking
some
in-
bets I don't like, but that was more bets that I do like, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean that's super helpful, I thought. I want to know, because like in the NFL, if you're looking at like kicker props, you want to make sure that they're inside or that like little extra edge. What is an edge that you look for, like a big factor in soccer that kind of will sway you one way or the other?
Definitely the home and away team, I think, can matter. I think that probably matters in a lot of sports, but that's a big one. What I really like is I actually like to use that in kind of the opposite way, where I will maybe think that a team that I don't like as much is going to have that boost at home. So I really like to bet on teams or clubs that are big, that are historic. Soccer is a little bit of, well, a lot of European sports, I think, they follow the money. And if you win, you get more money, you attract better players, you keep winning, you keep getting money, you keep being the best. And it's kind of a repetitive cycle. I think that can be a little bit frustrating for some common American sports audiences that expect maybe more of this competitive league or something like that, or something where you give the draft pick to the worst team. So there's not quite a lot like that. So I tend to look for the big teams, the historic teams, the ones with the money. If they're away at somewhere, I like that bet. So I'm usually going to take the more more heavily favored, the more historic club against the team that's at home. The Champions League, I think, is a great example of that, because you're going to have teams that are traveling from maybe North England, maybe in Manchester, down to who knows, Italy, Turkey, any of these other places, and that travel is going to be something to consider. But at the same time, you're playing one game where one goal is maybe all it's going to take, and any given team that's got a lot of history can get it done in 90 minutes. So that's usually what I look for over something like that, over distance or venue.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be, I haven't even thought about it like that way. I'm so used to the American sports. That's a great take. My last question, what's the biggest misconception about soccer betting? Like, what is something you see people doing that drives you crazy?
That's a good question. I guess there's not really a whole lot because everyone's sort of into what they're into. But I just think that the crazy parlays on single games and stuff like that is pretty hard to predict. I think there's a lot of times where people want to. It's the syndrome of the over. I'm kind of like Ethan, where I tend to be a little bit more towards the under, where the public wants to see a high scoring game, especially the American public wants to see. That's the biggest complaint about soccer, I think, right? Is that it's a low scoring game. So they want to see goals, but at the same time, it's a pretty low scoring game. And some of these bets, if someone will bet on both teams to score and someone to win the game, I know I said sometimes I like, both teams to score no draw, but that requires 3 goals. And that's just not always possible. So I tend to think any of these bets that are with over 3.5, 4.5 goals, maybe. I see that a lot for like the Women's World Cup. Their games will had a lot of spreads, and I just think that that's a tall order to when it's already so tough to score a goal. Maybe you're facing bad opposition, but man, then you've got to do it 2 or 3 times just for that bet hit. That's the one that makes me maybe the most nervous.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Similarly, Ethan posted an article a while back about betting on college football or maybe NFL, but basically live betting once a team goes down by a touchdown, once the favorite goes down. That's maybe my favorite bet in soccer is you have your big clubs, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, the clubs that people have heard of, the clubs that people play with FIFA, those clubs, when they're playing some team in their domestic league that you haven't heard of, and they go down, maybe they're away, so the lower club goes up a goal early on in the half. That's my favorite time to jump in, bet either the double chance or bet the money line on the favorite. Still got a lot of game left, and they can usually come back. So that tends to be a lot of what I like to do as well. When if my parlay is maybe looking like it's going to be a little scary, I'll sometimes live bet and see if they can come back.
Love it.
I'm gonna try not to cut you off here, but do you think you have an edge being a soccer fan? Because I feel like soccer, more than any other sport, it helps to be a fan, know the players, know the teams, because there's so many different leagues that go on at the same time where players might not be with their club because they're playing over here for, the Champions League, or maybe not Champions League, but like Team USA in some other match. Like, do you think it helps you knowing rosters, knowing where teams are playing? And I guess, do you have advice for like a casual fan who doesn't know rosters, teams quite as well? For how to be successful?
That's a great question, and I think it's kind of depends as well about things I look for that maybe will give me an edge. And I think it does certainly help because you're right. And one of the things that I do look for, or maybe what I tend to forget more often, is this soccer has this calendar schedule that maybe isn't easily or readily apparent to everybody. So when you have teams playing in the Champions League, not every team is going to be in that. Not every team is going to be in that competition. They're going to have extra games. They might prioritize that, and then they might rest their players in a seemingly low level game, maybe that next weekend or the weekend before. So certainly, I think knowing how the soccer calendar works to a certain extent, how you have these clubs that may or may not be in different competitions at different times, and how they break it apart with international duty. So clubs were just on an international break for about 2 weeks. These past 2 weeks, where they're playing with their international team, and only the players good enough to be there, the ones that are leaving. Everyone else is at home resting or training, so that might make a difference as well. And so I certainly think knowing those things does give a little bit of an edge. To a certain extent, however, I feel like if you just really try to look at a league, or if you're looking really maybe later on in the season, record is important as well. Again, these are teams that are usually pretty consistent. There's not as much parity as some other sports, so you're going to have your teams that are winning a lot are usually going to stay winning most of the time. So that's kind of another more casual way, is you can usually just look at record, which I know is very kind of easy and boring to do, but I think that can really help show kind of who's actually going to be consistent as the season continues to go on. My advice for someone that's maybe casual for it would be to either do that, where maybe you take a look at a league. Maybe it's a league you have a little bit of interest in, or not. Maybe it's a league that just is on at a good time for you to bet, and take a look at some of the teams, see who the favorites are, see who the big teams are, and maybe see who just came into the league. Soccer has an interesting system for most of the leagues, where if you do poorly, you go to the second tier. If you do well in the second tier, you get promoted to the top tier. So you might have a team that just got into the league. So knowing that's a little bit helpful, and I think you can usually, if you just take a look at a league, take a look at the league standings and table, that could help. My other advice would be pick a team. I think the Premier League is the most accessible to the US. I think it's the most enjoyable, best league in the world, in my opinion. So, pick a Premier League team, watch a couple of games, and if you get interested in a team, especially if it's one of the bigger teams in England, they're going to be in the Champions League or in one of the European competitions. They're going to be sending players off to domestic duty, or international duty, sorry. So you pick a team, you start to follow them a little bit, you start to hear a little bit about these players, you hear a little bit about what's going on, and that, I think, really can help make it click for someone that doesn't understand the overall calendar, because that can be a challenge. It goes most of the year, whether it's on international duty or club duty. So that's certainly helpful to know the players, I think, but not critical.
Along those lines, who's your favorite player?
My favorite player is a player that played for Tottenham. His name is Christian Eriksen. He is from Denmark, so he plays for the Denmark national team. And currently he plays for Manchester United in the Premier League as well. This is the guy, he had a couple years ago, they do the Euros, European Championships, which is like the World Cup, but just for the European nations. And they do that splitting the World Cup. So every 4 years, but 2 years apart from the World Cup. So he had a cardiac arrest at the Euros and made a bunch of headlines because it was, I think, the first game of the tournament. He collapsed on the field and had to be resuscitated by his teammate. And lot of drama.
Mm.
And he was playing in Italy at the time, and they've got laws that restrict whether you can play sport at the highest level if you have certain cardiac problems. But he was essentially banned by Italian law from playing for his club, Inter Milan, once he had a pacemaker put in. So he went back to England and played for a different team in the Premier League before getting over to Manchester United. That's my favorite. He's a creative midfielder, and he's great.
That's nuts.
Ethan, you got anything else for him?
Not in the soccer world. Yeah, I need to dabble. I used to dabble in soccer a lot, actually. Actually had success during COVID, and then shit hit the fan big time in the last year or two. Couldn't win a bet. I mean, Aaron's pretty well familiar with my bets not doing well in the Premier League. I would bet on his Tottenham Hotspur quite a few times. They would always lose, so I promised him, since he is a fan, I will not bet on them anymore. So I couldn't bet them today when they did win 2-0. I know Aaron did hit another parlay today, like plus 400 or something, but yeah. I need to get back into soccer because I do love soccer betting. It's fun when it's going well, when your team's up like 2-0 and, it's just kind of a no sweat type deal. Like you said, there's a lot of great time slots, a lot of day games that are nice to follow along with when nothing else is on. So I do need to get back. I will be betting your big three. So hopefully we make some money tomorrow.
I hope so.
And then I guess other than that, I mean, do you guys have more soccer? Or I was going to just do a quick fantasy rundown.
That's all I had.
Are you good on the soccer front, Aaron? Or did you have more?
Yeah, I guess I will just let's see. I did hit 5-leg parlay. I guess that would be my tips for if you want to dabble. I guess last thing I'll sort of say about the soccer stuff is either do something like that where you look at the weekend slate and pick a couple of teams that you recognize and against a team that you don't, and just parlay those together because usually the odds aren't great if you do them one at a time. But a 2-leg, 3-leg parlay usually is pretty successful. Or pick a league, follow it a little bit. I will say this with the Premier League, and which is in England, and the MLS, which is our soccer setup here in the States, is there. Those are actually two pretty competitive leagues. I also follow the Brazilian league, another very competitive league. Those I think are a little bit more difficult to bet. The Premier League does have these big favorites, but every team is pretty good. Some of the other leagues across Europe, La Liga in Spain, Germany's Bundesliga, Italy, I think really is a good one to get interested in because there's a couple of teams that are good and quite a few teams that are maybe not so great. So there are a few leagues that I think are easier to bet. The Premier League is fun, but that's one where certainly I can understand if you've had some frustration because that one's even I'm a Premier League fan. It's the league I follow the closest, and I'd say I don't bet it as much as I bet maybe some of the other leagues because it's tough to read sometimes.
Right. Yeah, if I was just gonna see how everyone's fantasy weeks went. Mine is in the shitter.
Oh,
Both
no.
leagues doomed, done. I hate fantasy. I'm bowing out for the year. Aaron, I know the league we're in together, your team is just as bad as mine. Doesn't look like you were going to win last I checked, but any luck with your other league?
My other league, I'm doing fine. My other league, I'm gonna win. I had AJ Brown in that one. Let's see, who else did I have in that league? I picked up Rashi Rice for your Chiefs.
Oh,
yeah.
He was
yes,
a
sir.
good pick
He did pretty
for
good
me.
this week, didn't he?
Yeah. So I should win in my
You
other league, but no, I'm in the league I'm in with Ethan. We're 11th and 12th of 12, I believe. So doing okay on the points for category, but just can't seem to do anything in the wins category.
Yeah, I am looking like 1 for 3. I'm up by 71 points in my biggest league. He has Alexander Madison, so I think that's a win for me. And then two terrible teams on my other two leagues. Bijan had quite the game this weekend. There's a couple other guys like that just starters that are getting 2 points. So the other two leagues are ass. I'm done with those leagues. My big boy league, it's super competitive still. I think it's only an 8-man league, which is kind of fun. But I'm like 7th out of 8th, but everyone's within 1 win or 2 wins, except first place is undefeated. So I still have a chance to make the playoffs and a huge win. I just acquired Kelsey, went off for 30 something points. So
beautiful.
feeling good. Got a little new mojo in that league. So we'll see if it works.
Love it. Aaron, did you get Rashi Rice? Did you read my fantasy waiver wire ads? Did you get them from that?
I picked him up and saw the waiver wire ads the next day and was like, okay, good. I must be doing something right.
You are, man. I'm glad. He did well for you. Ethan, I am actually winning my main league by 105 points.
Nice. I didn't even score 105 points probably in the last 3 weeks.
I scored 184 this past week. Absolutely killed it. He has, let me see. He has got Ayuk and Jake Moody left, so I think I won that one. Bad beat. I was winning by 2 points, and then we give -1 for a sack. I was winning by 2, and 2 was my quarterback. To end the game, he threw an interception, got sacked, lost by 1.
Oh,
Rough.
If he would have got
That is
benched, should have
tough.
been done. Rough. In our Scotty League, we've scored 187, and our guy we're playing against is 149.96, but he's got Purdy, McCaffrey, and Ayuk.
oh boy.
So
Not ideal.
not ideal at all. But we should still get the win for having over the league median. As long as it stays. It's 173
How's that?
right now.
How's that league doing?
We're 6-6.
Okay.
So we're doing okay. And I mean, we're scoring really well. Yeah, we're doing fine.
Yeah. I clearly loved the Colts yesterday. My 2 quarterbacks in the league I'm in with Aaron, Gardner Minshew and Deshaun Watson. Guess who I played?
No.
Boy.
Negative 1.75.
Yeah.
Minshew had 35.
Minshew went
Idiot.
off.
Idiot.
Watson needs a reset,
And-
dude.
The last thing I'll say is
Go get a
for my
massage.
other league. Yeah. I am down 12. He has McCaffrey. I have Madison. Do I have snowball's chance in hell? Is McCaffrey going to have to blow that ab?
How
I
much
think
you
you
win
have a
by?
chance, but Madison's going to suck.
I'm down 12.
Wait, who do you have?
Madison.
Yeah,
Aaron's shaking his head.
That's a loss already.
I think if McCaffrey gets benched, I still have a really, really tough chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madison can't hold on to the ball, dude. He might get you negative
Dude
points.
sucks. My team sucks. Team sucks. I was
Hey.
4-0. I'm 4-4.
Join in the waiver wire episode
Agree.
tomorrow. Answer fantasy Q&A questions. We'll help you out.
You might have to do it on TikTok at the rate that's climbing.
Ooh, buddy. If I just stop making like all these like 3-4 hours I've spent on making videos and just keep doing these little green screen.
Isn't that
takes
just
me
the biggest
35 seconds to make.
punch in the nuts?
It is,
That's-
dude.
I hate that.
It is.
But I don't hate the
Oh, well.
clout it's getting. That's good.
No. Come after us, man. Yeah, the followers on TikTok exploded.
Yeah, I
With
think
that
it's like
video. That was
200,
crazy.
200 plus the last 2 days.
God damn. That's what happens when you let me in the lab, baby. I'm back. I'm back. Do you guys
Take
have
it easy.
anything else?
Take it easy on that pumpkin tonight.
Yeah.
Hey. We might need to get a little further. Oh,
Start
shit.
calling you ballpoint pen Ben.
I made it too big. It's all right. Hey. Two sides to this pumpkin.
God. Good God.
I think you need to try to carve the better and green logo into that boy.
Ooh.
I'm telling you, man.
Ooh. I am a
good.
kind of a pumpkin carving connoisseur, so maybe I can give it a go.
Are you? Please, because it will be really
It's
bad.
kind
if I
of tough
try.
though, because it's a circle.
Well, you could just do like the
Yeah. I'm gonna have to like do the contrast.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
You can do it.
I'll figure it out.
If you do it, like we can make content out of that.
Yeah. I'll do it. Well, I gotta get a couple pumpkins, but yeah, I'll do it for one for sure.
Awesome. All right. Anything else, guys?
Go Hawk. I was gonna say Vikings, but you guys like the Niners, so go Hawk.
I got Hawk on my fantasy team, so
Yeah.
go Hawk.
That's all I got.
Ethan.
I got nothing. Go Niners. Just win the game. Go Ray McLeod. First touchdown score, over receptions. First catch. Don't hate it.
Wow.
He said just win the game. You guys need to cover. Okay, like me and Wyatt really depend on this.
Good gravy.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's basically a squad ride, but it's not.
there might be some content coming out with this pumpkin if they don't cover. If I go 0-3, this pumpkin's getting it tonight. All right,
It's gonna be
guys.
on his OnlyFans.
On my only hands. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining. Aaron, thank you for hopping on with us, man. We appreciate having you.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
Absolutely, man. You're welcome back anytime. And we'll see y'all on Thursday or tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, guys.
See you guys.